today, for this episode, cassava pone and conkies, because what could be more exceptional this time of year than those two dishes? Let's get into it. Okay, so now it's time for our cassava pone. I've been grating away at my dry coconut. And no, I did not husk it. I get somebody else to husk it. I don't understand what y'all mean. All right, so I have enough of that. You see, I have my coconut water. And here's our cassava. So cassava is a very important root plant. It is very high in nutrition. It is easy to grow, and is actually one of the more sustainable crops. So we're really encouraging Caribbean farmers to plant this. But I am encouraging you to eat this. Yeah, that's what we're working with. So going in with my coconut, dry ingredients first. And why I say dry ingredients when I have fresh grated cassava, because you can make this recipe with a cassava flour instead. I am using fresh grated cassava from Cheapside Market. So shout out BAS on the cassava and the coconut that we got. But we could have also used some cassava flour from Carmitas. So here we go, all the coconut in. Yes, I left some of the brown on my coconut. I find that it's fine to use it that way, but if you're storing it, if you're grating the coconut and putting it up to freeze, the brown shell on the outside, I find it tends to make it go off. So I'm recommending that if you're making it fresh, leave on the brown, but if you are freezing it and putting it up for another occasion, take it off. Yeah? Right? So dry ingredients. So sugar. Now, this is our plantation reserve sugar. Now, even as we're celebrating this month, we're talking about sugar. In Barbados, when you talk about sugar, you're also talking about diabetes, right? So one of the things that I do, just as a rule, whenever I see a recipe, I take out half the sugar automatically, because I just find that sweet and dessert online or in books, the sugar content is too high. Now, you can take out half of it, put it in and taste it. If you need to put in more, you can put in more. But if you put in all at the beginning, you can't take it back out, right? So my tip in general for life, when it comes to making sure you're not consuming too much sugar and putting yourself at risk for a non-communicable disease like diabetes and hypertension and that kind of thing, is to be cautious when you are trying out recipes, the amount of sugar in them. Now we go in with our spices. I'm gonna get my measuring spoon. All right. Half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of ground ginger. Some cardamom here. Good stuff. Gonna step down to a quarter for the cloves. You're gonna put in less cloves than everybody else. Right? Just a pinch of salt. Put that. Got my raisins in. These are my IGA raisins that I picked up at Massy. So now I have a Massy card. I just want everybody to know. So I've been shopping and I managed to pick up some nice IGA raisins. They are nice and plump. So those are in. And of course, as usual, I'm gonna just quickly put in my nutmeg. Get your nutmeg in. And we're golden. Everything dries in the bowl. Right? So now we need to get our wet ingredients ready.
Keep you and your family safe with Sol Gas. Here are some helpful tips to keep you and your family safe when cooking with Sol Gas. Never tamper with the cylinder and only use the Sol-approved regulator and a hose designed for use with LPG. Securely connect the regulator to the cylinder valve until it clicks into place and is properly fastened and secured. It is important to check the hose clips and the rubber hose to ensure they're in good working condition and properly secured. It is important to check your hose and regulator and change them as needed. Change your rubber hose every 2 years. Change your regulator every 5 years. If there are signs of damage to your regulator, contact an approved Sol gas distributor or a Sol service station for replacement immediately. Safety first with Sol gas.
We are going in with our wet ingredients, and our wet ingredients are going to be hot, including our coconut cream and butter. I find that when you pour the warm wet ingredients into the dry, it releases the aroma of spices in your cassava pone. So it's really lovely. Of course, one of the reasons you're warming them is because you're melting your butter so that it can be easily incorporated into the cassava pone. This is the Waitrose coconut cream from their organic line. Now, I discovered that they have 2 lines. They have the essential lines, which are more affordable, and then they have their organic products. Now, if you want to try a substitute or for some reason you can't get something, you need to know what is appropriate to substitute in a recipe. So using the coconut cream in your cassava pone is not standard, but I'm saying that when you water it down with a little warm water, it works just as well in the recipe. You could also use this coconut water that we got out of our dry coconut, or you can use what the original recipe calls for, which is coconut milk. Yeah? And you know what? My mom makes coconut milk at home. So really and truly, there's every option available to you to make sure that you enjoy cassava pone for this season, yeah? So there's still a little coconut fat or coconut solids inside because this is coconut cream and not coconut milk. So let me just get that out. And then our butter goes in to melt. Pour the spoon back, get that in as well. I'm liking the Waitrose. Did not know that they had so many products carried at Massy. Apparently they have maybe 3,000 items in their product line, which is really interesting. But so far, quality, really, really nice quality. Excellent. Butter's starting to come down. Let's just grab our essence and go in. We have some country kitchen essence here. We're gonna go with almond and vanilla because we like flavor in everything. Okay, and we're gonna go in with the almond as well. Ooh. All right, and I know you're not supposed to, but I always eat in the raw cassava because, like, this already tastes good, right? And it ain't cooked yet. Our coconut cream, water, and butter mixture is ready, and we are just going to pour it in. I wish you could smell how this smells, especially as I pour in the hot liquid. It's like already a bowl of deliciousness. And of course, it starts to affect the cassava almost immediately. Okay. Your liquid doesn't need to be boiling hot. You just basically need to melt down your butter. Right? Now, before I started, of course, I had greased my pan. Right? I have a perfect pan for this recipe. And it's cute because it's a little square Pyrex dish. So I like that shape, and I like the depth of that particular pan because it gives me a nice like pone. I don't want my pone bony, you know what I mean? So let me just grab my already greased. I just put a sprinkle of cassava flour in the bottom of the grease pan, and I found that the pone released out of the pan very, very easily. Just a sprinkle, it was not a lot. If you put on too much, you will get raw cassava flour at the bottom of your pone. Even it out, give it a little tap, right? And actually, cassava flour is a little sticky. So unlike like normal white flour where you can tap it all around the pan, That's not really advisable, but I just wanted a little bit in the very, very bottom of the pan so that the lift would be clean, and it worked. So in we go with our pone mixture. It smells divine. The consistency is lovely. It's nice and wet, but not too wet. Got our fresh cassava in there, which is indigenous to this region, but was exported to Africa. So it went to Africa and then we brought it back. Full of nutrients. It's a very good carb. So it's got very low actual carb content, but it's got lots of fiber, lots of nutrients, just what you want. If you're trying to control your blood sugar, you want to consider including blue food or grown provisions standard in your diet, as opposed to things made with white flour, for example. Now, I like a crunchy top. Just a little sprinkle on the top, just to create a little crust, right? And a bit more of this cassava flour, because I like how it came out when I did it before. So just a little sugar and flour is gonna just make the crust a little bit thicker, which I like, basically. A little bit on top. One more sprinkle. And just pat it in. So when this bakes, because of the little extra dryness of the flour and the little extra caramelization of the sugar, I didn't go overboard. I'm gonna get a slightly thicker crust to my pone. And since I like the crust almost as much as the pone, then that's a plus for me. Okay, straight to the oven. You're gonna bake this at 325 for about 40 minutes. So the cassava pone is in the oven. Now we're gonna do our conkies. So let's get our steamer set up. Our hot water is already on, right? I'm gonna grab my colander, pop that inside. Okay, I have a little too much water, so I'm gonna get rid of that in a minute, right? And the usual, dry ingredients first, then our wet ingredients, and then we're gonna swinge our banana leaves, fold them up into the steamer.
Massy Card credit card has gone digital. Download the new e-wallet by Massy Card app that gives Massy Card credit card holders more power to scan to pay, earn Massy points, send credit,
thanks, man,
pay bills, and so much more.
That's awesome!
Easy, instant, and secure from your smartphone. Go digital with the free e-wallet by Massy Card app. Now available on Google Play or the Apple App Store.
Okay, so let me get my bowl. So, dry ingredients first. Let's get our Valrico cornmeal in. Yeah. Let's get our grated coconut. You saw me grating coconut all day. Like, this is all I do for the day. Grate coconut. I'm gonna tell you that conkies are a very, very healthy. I know it's supposed to be like a dessert, but it's very, very healthy. It's gluten-free. The sweet potato and the corn flour, the coconut, all these things actually have really good nutritional value. So we're celebrating in a healthy way. Am I right? Yes. Next, I have my sugar, which, as I told you, like 4 ounces. Like, we're not over sweetening anything, right? So that'd be a disaster. It's easier to put in more sugar than to try to take it out when you put too much in. And you're keeping that in mind all the time. Yes, there are raisins in the conkies. See them there. No raisin conkies. Ridiculous. Pinch of salt. Yeah. Gonna go in my allspice now. You know I like my aromatics. Nutmeg. Get some nutmeg in. It's in there now. Into the fridge. I have, now you can always do this stuff and pack it off, put it in the freezer, it will keep, and you can then make conkies or whatever whenever you feel like. So if you don't want to make a huge batch, but you went in the market, you went down cheap and you get a pumpkin like this big. Am I right? You're not gonna use it all one time, but you're not gonna waste the pumpkin either. So sometimes you just do your prep. I like a little meal prep. Make me feel like accomplished. So see this gorgeous pumpkin that we just put in there, yeah? Got the colors on it. And of course, I'm using orange sweet potato because I want my conkies to have the nicest color that I can manage, right? So these are already weighed out, of course, and pre-packaged. So I'm putting them in. I had them in the fridge. And I also have some extra packets that I'm gonna freeze off. I mean, a conkie is like 150 or 60 calories, which definitely counts as a dessert or a snack. Not a conkie this big, obviously. Portion sizes are something that we've discussed a few times, but I want to emphasize that it's not necessarily that a particular food or a particular item is good or bad for you. All right, so the dry ingredients are in. Just making sure I evenly distribute my pumpkin and my sweet potato. Okay, so now we're ready for our wet ingredients. Yes? So let's get our Pine Hill Dairy whole milk. Pour that in there. Yeah? Get the stove on. It's blazing. That's my blue flame stove. Y'all know how I like my blue flame stove. I was talking about it. It got 8 burners. You understand? Ain't nobody like me when I in the kitchen. All right, so now I don't want it to splash in. I'm gonna ease my butter in there. Oops. And you just want to melt the butter. Not too hot. Calm it down. All right, so Country Kitchen, vanilla essence. Yes, please. Almond essence. I'm just going to quickly singe my banana leaves. And so why are we singeing our banana leaf? Because we are dehydrating it. We're taking the moisture out of the cells, and the moisture makes the leaf turgid or hard, right? But when you put it on the stove, see that steam? You're evaporating out all of the water, and that makes it flexible. See? Now, if you had done that to one before we did the singeing process, it would have just torn up. It would have shredded, and you wouldn't be able to wrap conkies in it. So that's basically it. You singe your banana leaf, and look at that. Changes color. You see that steam? That's the moisture from the leaf. And now we have something that we can wrap conkies in. Pretty simple. Now my father insists that the banana leaf adds flavor to the conkies. My sister says that it doesn't. They argue and argue. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but feel free to jump in the comments and tell us if you think there's a difference between doing it in like foil or banana leaves, right? So now we're ready. We have a stack of them, and our milk and butter is melted. So we're gonna pour that in. Wonderful. It's independence time. Okay, so I feel like I need a little bit more milk in my mixture, just a touch. So I'm just gonna warm up a little bit more. You never know how your Valrico cornmeal flour is gonna react from day to day. Yesterday's was the perfect amount of milk. Today, I feel like it looked a scintilla dry. So, but remember, it has to hold on the banana leaf. So don't make it like runny, yeah? I just feel like it could deal with a touch more moisture. Hot in no time. Yeah, this is better. I like this better. Just a little bit more moisture is all we needed. So this Valrico corn meal that I'm using, I find that it's giving me a very light, fluffy conkie. Notice I did not put any flour in my conkie. This is a gluten-free, totally gluten-free product. And because Valrico does coarse and fine cooked cornmeal, you can choose. Because some people like a rougher conkie. You know, it's more traditional from when you had stone ground, homemade corn flour. So you have these choices when you use Valrico, right? So I've used the fine one today. I'm just gonna move this out of the way because you might want to see what I'm doing. So the conkie is in. Fold over one side, fold over the other side. One hand there, one hand there. So just tuck it under. It's not a fancy fold. Tuck it under. I know you're gonna tell me my conkie ain't big enough, but what did we say about portions? Yeah? Okay, in the steamer it goes. And now we have to build a stack because somebody told somebody else that we were making conkies today, and you know what I mean. You're gonna make enough or they can put you out. And I'm gonna do that fold again. It's pretty simple, just in case you haven't made conkies before. A nice square piece, well, a rectangular piece of banana leaf, right? One side over, the other side over, press down there, under, under, that's it. In we go. Right, so I need to make some space so I can make more conkies because now I feel congested, right? So let me just pop these out of the way. Yes. Okay, and I don't need these anymore. I'm done. I'm done here. Now we can make some conkies. So, in the middle, you want moist. You do not want wet and runny. You do not want dry. I did not put in flour. It's gonna give me a nice light conkie. I put in a little extra coconut. Simple fold over one side, the other side. Lift and tuck, tuck. Sometimes you don't have banana leaves for whatever reason. There is no law that says you cannot grab some foil and do your conkies, right? I am not encouraging you to do this. I am simply saying that if for some reason you cannot get banana leaves, this is an option. Okay? Good. Same thing, very easy. As far as I am aware, the foil does not react with the food, so it doesn't add any flavor or take away any flavor. It just allows you to steam your conkie in peace. But the anti-foil and anti-raisin brigade can probably come for me. So this is gonna take a while, but you've been here with us all day, so you know that the next thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna bring some cassava pone out of the oven when we come back.
Why is Barbados one of the best places for producing milk in the world? For one, the constant sunshine and cool temperatures. This helps keep the local cows happy and healthy so they can produce bountiful amounts of milk. But the great taste starts with our people, from local farmers whose craftsmanship has been passed through generations to Barbados' lone dairy processing plant, who has been with them all along the way, ensuring that when it comes to Barbados, only the best product is provided. Pine Hill Dairy Milk is made at home. Always fresh, always better.
It is time to eat. Okay. Look at that. Look at it. Look at that. Perfect. Nice golden brownie top. Crust. Just how we like it. Gonna cut some sweet. Oh. Yeah. Of course you can't cut pone when it's like hot. You have to like cool down some, right? So that's an end piece, that's mine. Standardly with end pieces. Grab a plate here. That is our cassava pone done. And no, I cut in a whole plate full because you know who? People who heard that there's cassava pone in the building. So, conkies now. Just move this out of the way. And here we go. And our one rogue foil conkie. As you can see, it came through the process nicely. Oh, this one is on. You see, this one, it wants you to see what is up with the conkie. They want you to see. So yes, it's hot, but you know, hot hands. There you go. Finished product right there. There's only one thing left to be done, of course. I'm gonna eat some of that conkie. And we are basically done for this episode, but we're only beginning for this season. So do not hesitate, please, to try the recipes. And whoops, I lost a piece. Do not hesitate to try the recipes, to take some pictures, to tag us and let us know how it turned out. And don't forget, watch us on all the nation platforms. Check out Fine Cuisine Magazine on Facebook and on Instagram. That's where you'll see us. That's our home. That's the home of foodies in Barbados. Check us out every week. You're either gonna get a premiere or you're gonna be able to watch all the old How to Cook Like a Bajan episodes. Yeah? And that's where we do our competition. So that's exactly where you wanna be. Nation platforms or Fine Cuisine Magazine. See you next week.